Hello, it's your old buddy, Steve Simonson, and we're on the Awesomers podcast today, and we're talking in the mini-series format of the Founder Foundations mini-series. Now, this is a mini-series carved out to help you become a better leader, more importantly, to help your team develop as better leaders. So over time, your objective should be to bring up that team so that they can replace you in many parts of the business, maybe all of the business at some point. And we'll talk more about that a little bit today, and of course, throughout the rest of this series. Now, today is the importance of finding your why. Now, there are lots of philosophies and even my past recordings about this, but I want to try to break it down for you super simply today. Your why is not how much money you make. Your why is not how many hours you spend at the office. Your why is not really about any of that stuff. Your why is something much deeper. And for me, it took following a process to find my why. And I want to be very clear that we're not talking about your company why. We're not talking about why your brand exists. We're talking about your personal why. Why are you doing what you do? I'm not even speaking just about your business. What do you do? I'm talking about why do you do any of this, right? Why did you choose to be an executive? Or why did you choose to be an entrepreneur? Or why did you choose to go into e-commerce? Or why did you choose to go into manufacturing? Whatever it is that you happen to do. Now, I know that many of those answers are like, hey, I got to live. I got to eat to live. And, I need a paycheck and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Listen, we all deal with economic realities. Old Steve here, he's been known to have a sandwich or two. So I'm not outside of the day-to-day. We do stuff because we have to do some stuff. But my challenge to you is the most freeing thing that I've ever found is being able to have your personal why so clear to you on what you want out of your life, which includes knowing what you don't want in your life. I want that to become so clear and the feeling so visceral that you can't make any decision without the reflection and the counterbalance is, does this serve my why or not? Right? It should be that simple. The number one way of dealing with shiny object syndrome is knowing your personal why and just asking yourself every day, does this serve my personal why or not? Now, everybody, when I record these types of things or the how to find your why process or things like that, they say, well, Steve, just tell us your why. And I usually say, well, no, because then you'll use it to inform your why. And that's a dangerous thing. Not because my why is wrong. It's right for me. But I think people would take too much inspiration or structure from it and not really get to the root of what's important to them. And I want to I'm not going to go into the process of finding your why. There's other episodes you can go in and find about that. But this is, again, Founder Foundations. Your team should find their why, their personal why. You don't have to be a party to that outcome, by the way. You don't have to know their personal why and then somehow bless it and say, yes, your why is connected to my why. That's really not necessary. But fundamentally, they should understand some element of your why. For example, if you're a business owner and you say, we're going to build the biggest silicone spatula brand on planet Earth, and we're going to do it because we're making safer products and we're I don't know, saving the forest. I don't know what your why is, but whatever it is, like that's more of a brand why. They've definitely got to be on board with that. You can mix in part of your personal why, which could include, and we're going to do all of these company objectives, which I'll come to strategic objective soon in our series. All of those company objectives will still be done while Steve is off surfing, in Bali or Hawaii or wherever the surf of the month is. And the team knows that surfing is super important to Steve, and he wants to surf all the beaches on the planet Earth. This is made up, obviously. I don't know how to surf. But understanding that and baking some element of the life that you want into your company objective is relevant, and it is important. I know people go, oh, Steve, I know my why. I've had people tell me this. I want to take care of my kids. I want to have a good income, and I want to, feel comfortable in the world, and I want to make the world a better place, right? And I go, cool. Those are mostly either things we have to do, right? Like who doesn't have to eat and who doesn't have to take care of their kids, not things that our life is going to build fulfillment on. And they're also not real specific. And I would implore you, we've shared how to find your personal why process in various places. You can email service@catalyst88.com, and we can try to send you that process as well. At no cost, by the way. I'm not trying to sell you this thing. I think finding your why is so important that there's no point in me trying to monetize it. If one person, 2 people, 3 people find their why, and it helps them fulfill their mission in the company they work for, or fulfill the entrepreneurial vision, what they have, then I will feel perfectly happy and satisfied in that outcome. People regularly over the course of time have said, Steve, what's the number one thing that helps you in your business? Like there's some secret miracle that if I just whisper it out of the side of my mouth, they'll know suddenly how to, 10x their business. And I just will tell you, there is no silver bullet. There's no secret thing. But if there was, it would be finding your why. Finding your why comes down to, what do you want to leave in this world? What mark do you want to make? It's almost like, and part of the process of finding your why is like writing down what you want chiseled on that tombstone, right? Seeing what the end looks like and then engineering your way backwards, which is a common theme from all of my discussions about systems and processes. By the way, the first step is, here's a hint, is figuring out what you don't want in your life, figuring out the things that you hate and how to eliminate those. And many of the opposite things that you don't want in your life means you do want those opposite things, right? So if you don't want to wake up to having an alarm clock bother you every day, then that means you want a little time freedom, most likely. And so there's this back and forth process that you go through, but I just cannot express how important it is, not just for yourself, but for your team, particularly your leadership team, to start going through the process of finding your why. And it's not easy. At least in my case, it was not easy. It took me well over a year, and I had a coach that helped me. And every time I would say, yeah, my why is, I'm going to, make $1 million, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And he would come back and go, nope, that's not your why. You didn't do the process right. Do it again. And I go, no, that's it. I want to move on to the next thing. Right. I was thinking in my mind, I just need to check this thing off the list and move on to the next thing. And I'm really trying to reach you guys today and say, there is no next thing. This is the only thing, right? Your life and what you intend to accomplish is the thing. So spend the requisite time on it. And you guys are all capable of having more than one thing happen in your life. So you don't need me to tell you this, but I'm going to be explicit about it. You can keep working on your why while you do other stuff, right? You don't work 50, 60, 70 hours a week on your why and then get it done. Just work, an hour or 2 at a time on it. Maybe it's every week, maybe it's every other week, and just try to plod forward. Maybe you make faster progress than me. Lord knows I could be a slow learner, but I would really encourage you to make this investment and know that it is one of the most important things to get the calibration for everything else that comes after this right. If you don't have your personal why down, you may have to go back and adjust some of these things, and that's okay. There's no problem with recalibrating from time to time. And I will tell you one other thing, your why can in fact change. When I was 30, my why is I want to build, a multi-billion-dollar public company and let's build the empire. Woo! Right? But over time, even as we got very close to a number of those things, it's like I hate the company usually after it hits $50 million. Like that, for me, my why became, oh, that was actually me constructing my own torture chamber, not me achieving fulfillment and happiness and having a life worth living. And you understanding those pressure points, what you like and what you don't like, is really, really important. And we'll talk more about that in Founder Foundations. The rest of this series is still coming out. Make sure you click on the notify, check the box, click the subscribe, tell your friends, your family, your loved ones. If you really do care about your team, I would highly encourage getting them into the Founder Foundations process that we're going through right now. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Awesome